Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. Today, we're going to be talking about these. Before we start, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. This channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. We cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in the middle, including fly fishing. And today, we're talking about assist cords. One of the basics, and it is what makes assist hooks assist hooks. All right, so they come in different sizes, colors, variations, and we need to sift through exactly what these are, and possibly at the end of towards the end of the video, I'll give you a few alternatives of what you could use if these things are not available in your area. However, please note that there will be setbacks if you're not really using these because they're specifically designed for the purpose, and it might be that they won't work properly or just get cut fast. Now, I've experienced this in the early days when you just can't get this type of stuff here, and either I had to import or I had to get creative. So yeah, let's talk about that today. So there are solid assist cords, and these are nothing but thick strands of braid, and they're braided into cords. So they're not hollow, okay? You can't pull out the core, but they have their uses, okay? Now, old school fast jigging assist hooks utilized a lot of these solid ones. Now, there's still some use for them these days, and I'm going to discuss that later on. And then there's ones that actually have a braided core. Now, I'll show you. Actually, a few weeks ago, I actually made assist hooks out of them, and this is pretty much what's inside of one of these. Okay, so I took the core out and then made assist hooks out of them, which you can. I don't like throwing them away because it's kind of a use. What do you call this? It's kind of like a waste. Now, there are those that have cores, and there's ones that sold hollow, such as this one. Okay, this one even comes with a needle right there, a rigging needle that you could use, or a splicing needle that you could use for these. And the good thing about hollow core cord is that you can make very, very clean assist hooks. And pretty sure that for those that have been following the videos, you would see this, and you could see that it's actually spliced and it looks really, really clean. So that's the advantage right there. So they come in different sizes as well. As you can see, this one right here is quite thick. Okay, they have different cores. Some of them have braid itself as a core, such as this one. You could just pull this out, just so as an example. You see that. And there are some that have fluorocarbon cores, such as this one, as you can see there. Okay, so they have a fluorocarbon core, and these guys are actually used for slow jigging, and there's a very good purpose for that. Again, we'll talk about that. Most brands actually indicate that it has a fluorocore. This is a very good example right here. This one's from Owner, and as you can see, there are different sizes. They come in different colors as well. These are kind of special. If you actually look at the illustration right here, you'll see that it has wire. So these have a wire core. And also, I'm going to show you this. Something that's unique about these ones is that they actually glow in the dark. Okay, so you can see there, it reacts to UV, and when it's down there, charged by the sun, it actually glows. Now, these are kind of specialist because these are made for toothy fish. These are not the limit, of course, to the materials that you could use, as I mentioned, for assist hooks. Now, in the past, even sometimes now, I actually make assist hooks from wire. And I believe there's a video in the channel where I actually make an assist hook from wire, or using wire, with wire. And you could also use 7 or 79 strand wire. such as this one. Although they're a bit stiff, but again, they serve a purpose for that. Now, you'll encounter cords such as this Varivas SS assist line, and this is my favorite, okay, that are kind of stiff, but the longer you use them, they become loose. And that's all and good. Also, with this, you can take out the core and use it as something coreless. Makes it softer. Splicing this is going to be very, very difficult, and if you try, your splicing needle will break. So it's very, very difficult to actually splice these. So if you're looking to splice, look for something like this, and then you take the core out, the fluorocarbon core, and then you'd be able to utilize that. Or you just buy one of these, which is just hollow, and you can splice it immediately. The advantage of very soft cord, such as this one, is that it can be easily spliced. The disadvantage here is that their braiding is kind of loose. And what happens there when you're using it, especially for fast jigging, is that your tag end will actually hit it. And sometimes you'll see that it's actually hanging around and snagged on the as you can see there. Yeah, it just snagged and then it frayed. Okay, now might not show up in the camera, but look, okay, as you can see, there's a strand there that I can pull on, and that's the biggest problem of these braids that are loose. Now, if you are looking at something like this, when they're new, it won't snag, but as it sees some use, it becomes kind of soft and pliable, and it will snag. A quick fix would be to burn the tag so that it has like a rounded ball of nylon there, or fluorocarbon, and take off the sharp edge. The problem is, even if I burnt it, you could see that with these, it still snags it. Sizing your cord with your hook can get a bit tricky, but over the years, what I have learned is that it really depends on use. Now, if you are using or planning to use this on fast jigs, what you could do is actually put thicker braid. Okay, a very good example of which is this one right here. So this is a fast jigging assist hook, and it was made using something like this. Now when you core it, not this particular brand, this is actually kind of soft and easier to work with than the Varivas. But as you can see, what you end up with is almost as big as the wire of the hook. So what I do is actually size it like that. Okay, so it's much easier to go with something like that. So that's one method. Another method is to actually go with, if you have hooks, and this is not brand specific because it's not only owner that does this, but if you look at the packet, it actually says it's not the breaking strain, it's kind of like the bending strain. So at around 50 pounds, the hook would start to open up. And I would just choose a size that would actually correspond to it. So 140 to about 200, 150 or something like that, in the neighborhood of that would be perfect if I was using it for slow jigs. Now for fast jigs, of course, you can use thicker cord because your hooks are going to be thicker. By nature, the hooks are going to be thicker than slow jigging hooks. Okay, so I hope that clears that up, and I hope that piece of information is actually quite useful. You can use, this is wire, it's coated with mono. Okay, as you can see there, it's actually kind of stiff, and the usefulness for stiff or it could be wire, it could be fluorocarbon cord assist line or assist cords, would be for the front of the jig. Okay, so let's get a slow jig here, okay, and put this as an example. Now the reason why you want this stiff is because you don't want this to actually hook your leader. Now remember, with your jigging this, the movement is going to be kind of extreme. Either you're long falling or you are moving the jig in an erratic fashion. It depends on whatever your style is, or whatever you're actually, what style you're using there. But what happens is that the jig will move and the hooks would go up and down. The thicker your cord, the more drag it will have, and the more this will go up. Thinner, of course, means that it's always going to be like that or closer to the body. So when the fish hits it, the hook is there. Now, if you have something like this that has a lot of drag or longer, what happens is that it will always be up here when it's falling or doing its action. And when the fish bites, the hook is there. Okay, it's like that. So you're not going to hit the fish. So stiff assist cords or assist line, whatever they call it, assist line, but these are cords. But the stiff assist cords were actually made so that the hook will not snag the back. Now here's another very good piece of information for a lot of people. The highest hook up percentage is not actually with the stiff assist hooks, it's actually with the soft, which actually it makes sense because while the jig is moving and it's here, when the fish sucks it or just grabs it, it's very flexible. So it will most likely be the one to snag the mouth really, really fast. When it's stiff, it'll just push it away most times. So for the head here, when it's moving, just because of it necessitates the hooks not to snag the leader, you need that stiffer assist hook. Whereas at the back, it's a different story. Now, when this moves backwards, when it slides, when you give it slack or when you point your rod tip to the water on a long fall or whatnot, the jig will slide forward and these hooks will be like the hooks for the perceived head of the jig. So it's very important to actually have the back assist as something that has the freedom of movement, and it will automatically have a really good hook up ratio. So for those guys that are actually building their own assist hooks, you can put really soft ones at the back and you could just keep the stiff ones in front. Even if you're buying, okay, there are some assist hooks that don't have a core. You just have to choose carefully. These are not cheap. Okay, now even the wired ones are actually more expensive. As you can see there, I left the price tag especially for that so that you could see it. Another way to actually get around that is to use thinner ones here at the back, but it's entirely up to you. For me, since I'm building my own assist hooks, I only put the ones with fluorocarbon inserts in front, and I save a lot of money just by putting putting assist hooks that are actually softer like that. Okay, so another point of note, buy really good scissors. If you don't, you'll go through a lot. Now these are ceramic, you don't have to actually buy the same thing, but buy very good serrated scissors. Now here's the thing. Now I'll give you as a point of comparison this and this right here. Okay, and we'll get back to that later. So you'll see this end right here. Okay, and most of the times I actually cut a taper there. Now why you want the taper there is because you put a taper there to make your assist hooks cleaner. See this one here? Okay, I made this just for this video and so that you could see it. It's orange. Okay, so you can see here it has a soft edge, whereas this one, which comes from a factory, you can see that it has a sharp edge. When you have a fish on and it constantly moves, right, this will make the hole bigger, and the chances for the fish actually getting off the hook is higher than the one that has a soft edge right there, because it's not going to make the hole bigger or the entry hole bigger. And that's just a point of note. I mean, these little things actually stack up, and when you're fishing, you just don't know that that's exactly what happens. Okay, so yep, that's it, guys. I really hope that the information, I wanted to keep this as short as possible. I mean, if I missed anything that you want to discuss, please comment below. I really hope this information is something that you find useful. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And there's a lot of videos like this in the channel. So if you're new around here, please check out the videos that I have made earlier. Okay, if you have been around and following me or subscribed for some time, thank you very much for the support. Really, really appreciate that. And again, guys, comment if I actually failed to mention anything here. yeah, I mean, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, if you found it useful. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.